This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, January 26th, 2009, and this is episode 517 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa of AllEars.net, a senior feature writer and blogger for AllEars.net. Welcome, Mike.
Your ancient history.
Timekeeper.
No.
Iago.
Nice. Yeah.
I go in the tiki room.
Also joining on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World of Radio. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Outstanding. And also joining us on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
Matt, I apologize for jumping up and down on your couch the last time I was on the show.
No problem, Tom Cruise.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Nice.
Also, there's a joke to me about like the Jungle Cruise about the lost men's key room. Anyway,
Of all of the parties that have ridden on this boat today, you are the most recent.
Also joining us on today's show, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome back the one, the only Christina Testa. How are you, Christina?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm fine. How you guys doing?
Now, Christina, I know your name has actually changed, but this is your name of your stage name because that's what
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's my nom de plume.
Nom de plume, exactly.
So on today's show, we are going to talk about water parks in general and talk about a little bit about them and in terms of our opinions on a lot of things that go on over there. Because water parks certainly have changed over the years, and we're obviously talking about Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. Now, I've been to both of them fairly recently. I went to Typhoon Lagoon for the first time not too long ago, about 2-3 months ago. And I went to Blizzard Beach again after a while. I just upgraded my annual pass to a premium annual pass. And am I alone in that Blizzard Beach really has like very few slides compared to Typhoon Lagoon?
That might entirely be true.
I mean,
I don't know that that's bad, though.
Well, I will say this.
Going for?
Yeah, I will say that. I think I know where you're going with this, Christina. And that's the quality, like slide versus slide. Like if you take a slide at Blizzard Beach and a slide at Typhoon Lagoon, the slides are better at Blizzard Beach. But that being said, I went on like a dead day. It was one of those days. It was like it was either, I think it was in December actually. So it was one of those days where like it was just going to get to like 72 or something like that. So just warm enough if you go for a couple hours in the afternoon to go, and be comfortable at a water park. And so the park was pretty dead. And I swear I went through every single slide in a matter of hours at Blizzard Beach. And I just felt at Typhoon Lagoon, there was so much more going for it. Not only the slides at Typhoon Lagoon, because there's more to do there, but also I felt the wave pool is so far superior at Typhoon Lagoon compared to the little bobbing stupid pool they have at Blizzard Beach, where it only reminded me of being on the little dinghy that we were on our Disney cruise for Mousefest at the parasailing thing, where it's just like you just bob up and down, and it's like waiting for seasickness to induce. I mean, at least at Typhoon Lagoon, you have the huge waves coming, and I don't know. I was just totally underwhelmed by Blizzard Beach overall compared to Typhoon Lagoon. What do you think, Len?
I like them both, but for different reasons. I like Blizzard Beach because I think it's more family oriented. So so Crush and Gusher, I think, is a really well done ride.
Absolutely, it's by far the best slide of any slide of any of the two.
Wait a minute.
This is the roller
What's the one where you're violated and you can't, like, you need a minute?
That's the one at Blizzard Beach.
No, it's Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh, that's
Humunga
Yes,
Cowabunga?
Cowabunga.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't suggest that one.
That's the one that I made Hannah go on because I'm like, how bad can it be? And then she screamed the entire way down, and it was traumatized for like
Well,
an
but
hour.
Hannah weighs like 14 pounds. I don't recommend that
It was funny because I was going down it, and the first time, and I was trying to
You
resist.
scream like a girl, Len. I was with you. You scream like a girl.
Yes, he does.
I did actually.
I've ridden roller coasters with him.
My instinct was to get up, like to try and slow myself down, but then I in the brief second that I thought about doing that, I realized that if I tried to get up, what would end up happening is I would look like that guy on Wide World of Sports. The agony of defeat guy that goes.
You did it. Your suit was up to your shorts.
Well, Well, the other thing is, I mean,
I hope no one's eating as they listen to the show because it's really just not pleasant at this point.
I would also mention, as bad as Humunga Cowabunga is, Summit Plummet I think is even worse. I mean, it's a 120-foot vertical drop basically from that one. So, I mean, that one just same idea. I mean, it's enema-inducing, as Christina eloquently put it. But I really like the going to Typhoon Lagoon again. The wave pool I think is really well done over there. It's a lot of fun. It's what a one of the like a 6-footer every, I forget what Stacy says, every like 90 seconds or something like that, to that extent. And it really makes for a lot of fun. I mean, you're just there and you one wave hits you and you do whether you try to like go underwater while it comes or you dive into it or whatever. And then as soon as you come up and kind of like get the water out of your eyes and everything, there's another one coming by for you. I really enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah. I think the wave pool's a hoot. Hannah loved it when we were there.
Yeah, it's terrific.
And we did. They had extra magic hours, and we stayed in for 3-4 hours on.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just exhausting when we were there. The so it was an extra. It was an evening extra magic hour day. We got there on 4:00. This extra magic hour started at like 7 or 8. We stayed until 10:30, so almost until the very end. We spent like the last 2.5 hours in the wave pool.
I have a funny story at Typhoon Lagoon. We went to go eat lunch at I think it was Typhoon Tilly's, which is a snack shop or whatever. It's a counter service, and we go in to get our food. And there was a problem with one of the orders. I think my wife's burger didn't have cheese or something like that. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, I brought the burger back to the cast member to go exchange, and she was very nice about it. I'll take it back. And then as I'm turning back to go back to my wife, she's already coming up to me. I'm like, what are you doing over here? And she goes, the birds attacked me.
Yeah.
Like the birds, there's like birds like all around, and like evidently like
really?
Yeah, because these kids keep on feeding the stupid seagulls. And the seagulls got they saw I had gotten up, so they assumed that I was done with my food and attacked the thing. And so,
but they're so big, they're like pterodactyls.
I know
they're not.
Yeah, it is crazy. But what was really nice is I brought a tray back full of food that's been spilled, not of totally our fault or the bird's fault really. But Disney, the cast member was wonderful, and she said we'll take everything back and give you a whole new. So give us a whole new tray, and we moved far, far away from that location. But it was really wonderful. So
that's
How
awesome.
did you like the food though?
It's all right. It's regular, boring theme park food. You need to get a burger or whatever, a sandwich. I mean, it's nothing special. I wouldn't, go back to it by any means. But I was just really impressed by the fact that the service over there. So, I mean, to the cast member who did that, she was just wonderful. But I mean, I think at the water parks, one of the things you can do, and you really should do, is probably bring yourself a cooler or something and bring your own snacks for it, because you can set up shop, one of those at one of the chairs over there, and you can bring a cooler there, drop it right off over there, and then you don't have to worry about the bad food. You can bring your own, even if you can stop at Subway or something, I think it would be better for you overall, and probably save you some money too.
The thing that I thought was the best investment was when you go in to where the lockers are, and the locker prices went up, but there's that little, hut shop where you can get cameras, waterproof cameras, and that kind of stuff. We got this little case, and they have 3 sizes that you can put around your neck, and you can put your credit cards or money in it, and it's waterproof.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And yeah, that's
one thing,
really wise investment.
Along the same vein, I got turned on to it's like the Water Wallet. I think I'll put a link in the show notes to it. Jamie of the Crowncast podcast alerted me to this when I brought this on when I go on cruises now, and they have things, these waterproof things you can put, obviously like you said, like money and stuff in, but they also have waterproof cases you can put your regular camera in and take pictures underwater. It's fantastic,
really?
And it's really cheap also. So I'll put a link in the show notes to that one. I think one thing we have is Crush and Gusher at Typhoon Lagoon, because it's the premier slide, and Len, I think you briefly touched upon it earlier. I mean, it's wonderful.
Great. It's family oriented. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, the only problem with it is I think it makes the other slides look quite pathetic compared to it, because we rode that one first, Crush and Gusher.
Yeah, you don't want it. You want to do something else first, and then do that.
And you go back to the other ones, and it's like, that's it.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that. That's exactly what it is. Hannah and I rode that one like 3rd or 4th in a day. We kind of segued to it, but then I think we went on that 4 or 5 times in a row. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The other slides that I thought were interesting, staying at Typhoon Lagoon for a second. Once you get beyond the Crush and Gusher, because the Crush and Gusher is a water roller coaster, really, it's really fantastic. I mean, there's no way you can describe it and do it justice, because it's such a unique experience, and really, really, really a lot of fun. The one thing I tried it, and as a good person, I tried Shark Tank, and
what is that?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
terrible.
I loved it.
First of all, the water is like 20 degrees.
I heard that.
Reef.
What,
Second
is
of
it?
all, second of
Shark
all,
reef?
the shark reef, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It's the water's 20 degrees. Then they tell you not to kick.
Yeah.
Because you might alarm the fish, which
Yeah.
means,
It's
Jaws
like-
time. Exactly. It's like, we can't close this beach on the 4th of July.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly.
I got yelled at like I was 10 years old in there one day because I was kicking.
So
Really?
I was
So
so
what do you
paranoid.
do? Like use your arms?
Yeah, you have to like use your arms.
Yeah.
basically. So the whole time I'm paranoid that A, either I'm going to get yelled at by the cast members for kicking, or B, the sharks are going to come bite me because I'm kicking. So I just made, like, most people, like, when you get in,
You made quiet whimpering noises, didn't you?
I made a line for that, for the other slide. I just did not have I didn't want any part of it. I just could not enjoy it one bit. It was like paranoia the whole time. So I did not enjoy that at all.
I've done it a couple times, but I have my dive light, so it doesn't bother me. Len says he feels like bait. That's why he doesn't like to snorkel. He feels like
Exactly.
he's like the little fish pellets, like boop, boop.
Did I ever tell you my Key West snorkeling story?
No.
So we go to Key West, and so not Disney World related, but it's me, Dawn, Linda, and somebody decides to go. That it would be fun to go like 7 miles off the coast of Key West to go snorkeling, and I was okay with it until it became time to actually jump in the water, and I look around, and there is no land anywhere within sight, and we're in the middle of the ocean, and all I can think about, I know it's completely insane, all I can think of is sharks. So, for whatever reason, I had to jump into the water first off this humongous boat.
They were testing. You were the chum.
I was the chum, exactly. I was hyperventilating the entire time. I kept looking around like, what was that? Every time I stuck my head under the water, I expected to see a shark head looking right back at me.
Yeah.
And I swear to, as God is my witness, I purposely am next to these small, slow children, figuring that the sharks would attack them first.
But don't
I could
forget-
not wait to
Don't forget-
get out of the water.
I can hear you.
No,
Awesome.
Don't forget, 1,100 men, 300 came out.
no. My palms are sweaty thinking about it. I hated being in the open ocean. I hated every second of it.
You big Mary.
In fact, I am tense right now just thinking about the experience.
I'm sure the driver of the boat said, I'm not going to stand here and have that thing cut open and see that little Testa boy spill all over the deck.
Exactly.
But no Shark Tank for Len at Typhoon Lagoon.
Yeah, no.
is the
We need a
moral.
bigger ocean.
Switching over to Blizzard Beach again, the one thing that I really like is I felt the secondary slides at Blizzard Beach were much better than the secondary slides at Typhoon Lagoon. I had said that, if you compare one slide to one slide at each of the water parks, I always felt that the Blizzard Beach slide was a little bit better. My favorite, I think, were on the purple slopes, the toboggan racers and the snowstormers and the downhill double dippers. And what's really cool about that is they all allow you to really, the toboggan racers is 8-lane, the downhill double dipper is side by side. The snowstormers is, there's different slides that you can all go to. Basically, it allows everyone to kind of ride at once. And I think it makes for it really fun if it's not just somebody goes down and somebody waits for the other person to come down and the other person. You can actually enjoy it, I think, kind of a quote as a family or as a group, whatever it may be. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that area of the park was really well done in terms of just the quality of the slides. The one thing that I really noticed about when you go during dead times of the year is that if there's no lines, you really get tired, walking up and down
That's
those
the thing. It's
those
you've got to
stairs.
carry you've got to carry the floats,
Yeah.
the inner tubes in some of them. Yeah,
It really makes for a tiring experience. I guess that's
Totally with you.
what they guess.
They're there to wear you out, right? Exactly.
Exactly. It's like, well, you go in the wave pool or something and relax for a little bit.
Right.
What are some other things that you guys, Christine? What were some highlights for you at Typhoon Lagoon or even Blizzard Beach?
Definitely the lazy river is nice at Typhoon Lagoon. Blizzard Beach, I like the theming.
Yes.
of course you have your Disney theming. But I definitely would say Typhoon Lagoon is my hands-down favorite. I mean, you can sit in the lazy river for hours and fall asleep. I guess that's probably dangerous. Water, but
Right.
the wave pool, hours and hours. I mean, you're just pruned. It was a beautiful night when we were there, and it was so nasty hot during the day, so that was a really nice relief.
I like to use the wave pool, though, as a means of transportation around the park. I mean, it's not the most fastest thing by any means, but when you get tired, just hop in the nearest juncture and take it to, another area of the water park, and it can really, it's a nice relaxing thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Newell, Scopa, any thoughts on the water parks? What are your feelings about it? I mean, which one do you prefer generally?
I'm a Typhoon Lagoon man myself. I just think it was put together much better than Blizzard Beach, and I know what Len's saying. They both have their highlights. I just like Typhoon Lagoon because it just offers so much. I like the lazy river around. I forget what that's called.
Where
Ketty?
at Typhoon Lagoon?
At Typhoon Lagoon. What's the waterway that goes around?
Castaway Creek.
Castaway Creek. I mean, when you're kind of tired and you just want to chill out, I mean, that's a great thing to do. I love going into the wave pool and watching people there for the very first time. I can remember going there with my video camera. I'll be up to my waist in my video camera, and I'm looking for someone who I think has never been there. And here comes the wave, and they have no clue as to what's going to happen. Next thing I know, they're on their back and they go, "Oh my God, I didn't think it was that powerful."
Yeah,
I love watching people there for the first time.
When I went into, it's funny you mentioned that, Scope. When I went into the wave pool at Typhoon Lagoon for the first time, and I'm like, "Oh, this is fun," and then you hear,
Yeah.
You hear the klaxons and the klaxons start going off.
yeah, and then it's like, oh my God! I mean, you see the first wave like emerge from the back, and it's just like, it's quite an experience for sure. And it's funny you bring that up, Scope, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who go there and it's just they have no idea what's coming for them.
I talked with someone who was a lifeguard there, and they had been lifeguards at various pools in the resorts, and this person was a lifeguard at the wave pool, and he said it was the toughest job that he's ever had because when you're there, I mean, you're there with the little surfboard or whatever, and you've got a whistle and you've got the sunglasses, and you're just staring at the wave pool. And what he said was that it's a very difficult job because you're watching all these people, and it's very hard to figure out, okay, who's having fun and who's under stress.
Yeah.
And when the wave hits, it's like he says, my blood pressure just goes up because I need to really make a quick judgment as to whether or not someone's in trouble. So it's probably one of the toughest jobs at Walt Disney World.
I agree with that. I think
You bring up a good point, though, Mike. And having been to other local water parks, I was impressed with the number of lifeguards. I've never seen that many people, and that made me feel good. We had the 3 girls with us, but every couple feet on the lazy river thing, they were all over the wave pool, and they were on it. They weren't flirting with each other like you see, the young kids in the summer at the other water parks. They were eagle-eyed looking at them.
Yeah,
absolutely. They're well trained. I think one thing we should mention also is about timing, and that if you're going to plan on going to any of the water parks, definitely be there for park opening. Now, we always stress that on the regular theme parks, but at the water parks, those first 2 hours are just dead because most people.
So that's how Hannah and I got to be the big Kahuna at was it Typhoon Lagoon? Blizzard Beach.
Typhoon Lagoon. Yeah, no, wasn't it Typhoon Lagoon?
That was Blizzard Beach.
Blizzard Beach, I think.
Talk about that though. What you got with it, because that's really cool.
So we got there. It was a morning extra magic hour. So with the park open at 8, we actually got there at 7:30 or 7:45. We did not get there especially early, but we were one of the first. We were literally there's 2 other people there in line. So they asked us, they asked Hannah a couple of questions about where she's from and whether she was enjoying it. And then they said, "Well, do you want to be Big Kahuna for the day?" And she was like, I'm not sure. I'm like, no, you want to be Big Kahuna for the day. Trust me. You want to be Big Kahuna. So they did. But, there was no one there. And it's not like in the Magic Kingdom where if the park opens at 8, people are there at 6:30. Here, there was literally half an hour before the park opened, there was 1 other person or 2 other people there.
Yeah.
Getting there early is just completely different.
I mean, if you get there at park opening, I mean, you'll get, a couple hours of just the park to yourself, really. So most people really roll in there, as the day progresses, usually a little before lunchtime. I'm thinking 11 a.m. The other thing is, I would mention that if it's one of those days like I had mentioned before, if it's gonna be like a day like where the temperature's only gonna get to like 75 or 80 and it's kind of cool in the morning, those are the days you really want to take advantage of it because it'll be warmer later on. And most people later on say, "Oh, it's kind of hot out. Let's go to the water park." But if you're there in that morning, all the water parks are heated, by the way, so the water's always warm. It's just a matter of getting from the next thing from one side to another. But really, if it's gonna be a temperature where it's 75 to 80, especially closer to 75, I mean, it's gonna be warm enough for you to really enjoy it. You might be a little nippy when you first get out and everything, but as the day progresses, it'll get nice and warm, and you'll be able to beat the crowds that way. And I think, Len, you'll end the show by, recommending the evening extra magic hours.
I was going to ask that. I wanted Len and Christina to talk about the extra magic hours and how they found the crowds at those parks.
No, it cleared out. Like, it was dead after everybody didn't have the wristband. It was awesome.
The interesting thing was, like, for the last half hour, it wasn't crowded at all. And then once extra magic hours started, especially like an hour into evening extra magic hours, it was literally just going up and down and up and down and riding as many times. I mean, it got to the point where it just wasn't. My body started to get sore from riding the rides.
Wow.
From riding that, it was like, okay.
We couldn't. We had to stop and take rest going up the stairs because there were no lines, and as fast as you could get up there, you come right back down. There was nobody there.
Literally, it was just the walking started to get tiring, and going up the steps. It was just like being doing a workout.
Great. Well, that'll do it for us today. I want to thank our very, very special guest, Christina Testa. Thank you again for gracing us with your presence, Christina.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And this episode of WDW Today it's been sponsored by nobody. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Christina Testa, I'm Matt Hochford. We'll see you on the next show. Hi, Dion.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.